Good morning, students. So, once again, I welcome you all for this session. So, in the last class, we have seen the basic idealizations in engineering mechanics. That is, four ideal conditions used in engineering mechanics. Now, let us move on to the next term, that is Newton's laws of motion. So already you are familiar with Newton's laws. Just we're going to discuss in today's class, that is Newton's laws. Okay, as you know, following are the fundamental laws proposed by the Sir Isaac Newton. So what is the first law states? Okay, Newton's first law. Okay, so what is Newton's first law states? It states that every body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is compelled or it is acted by an external agency on it. Means what it means. So suppose if you take any body, suppose if it is in a rest condition, so unless and until you apply a force, okay, so the body will not going to move. Right? So unless and until you apply a force to the body will not going to move. Or suppose if the body is in motion, okay, body is in already motion, right? So if you apply a force, then it will going to change the direction. Okay, so the Newton's first law states that every body continues in its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted by an external agency. External agency is nothing but a force. Unless and until you apply a force, the body will going to remain in stationary condition, or if it is already in motion, it will going to move in a straight line. Then if you apply a force, then body will going to change its state of rest or the direction. So this is Newton's first law. Okay, then what is the Newton's second law? Okay, Newton's second law states that the rate of change of momentum, okay, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force, and the momentum takes place in the direction of force acting on it. Simple. Okay, so again, now when you apply a force to the body, okay, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force, and the momentum of the body will going to take place in the direction of force only. Okay, so this you can rate it as force, that is applied force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Right, so what is momentum now? What is this momentum? Momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Right, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Then rate of change of momentum means rate of change of momentum is equal to mass into rate of change of velocity. Okay, rate of change of momentum is nothing but mass into rate of change of velocity. That will give rate of change of momentum. So that is equal to mass. Then what is rate of change of velocity means? Rate of change of velocity is nothing but acceleration. So finally you can write that rate of change of momentum is equal to mass into acceleration. That is, so F, applied force, is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum means mass into acceleration. So that is, F is proportional to m into A. So this is the Newton's second law. Then everybody is familiar with the Newton's third law. What Newton's third law states? It states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, so for every action there will be an equal and opposite reaction given by the other body. Now see, suppose a sphere is resting on some platform. Okay, so then there will be a reaction as well as action. Action is nothing but the applied force. Whatever the weight of the sphere is there acting downwards, this is action. Whatever the downward arrow shows, it is action, and this platform will going to give opposite reaction, that is this. So for every action there will be equal and opposite reaction. This is Newton's third law. Then apart from these three laws, one more law is there, that is called as Newton's law of gravitation. Okay, so now suppose if you consider the two bodies of mass m1 and another m2, and these two bodies are separated by a distance d. Small d will be the distance between these two bodies which are having the mass m1 and m2. And we know that every body attracts other body. Okay, there will be a force of attraction between the two bodies. Then the force of attraction between any two bodies is directly proportional. That is, the force of attraction is directly proportional to their masses. That is, force of attraction between these two forces is F. So F is proportional to m1, m2. That is, force of attraction is directly proportional to their mass and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. What is the distance between them? D square. So what finally you can say that, so whenever there is when two bodies are there attracting each other, so the force of attraction between these two bodies is directly proportional to their mass, that is m1, m2, and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So F is directly proportional to m1, m2 and inversely proportional to d square, square of the distance, that is d. So according to this law, the force of attraction between the bodies of mass m1 and m2 at a distance d is given by, so F, force of attraction, directly proportional to m1, m2 and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them, that is d square. So F proportional to m1, m2 divided by d square. Now I'll remove this proportionality. So F is equal to, I'll going to introduce one more term, that is capital G. So F is equal to G into m1, m2 divided by d square. Then what is the G here? So G is nothing but constant of proportionality and is known as gravitational constant or constant of gravitation. So finally you can say that F is equal to G into m1, m2 divided by d square. So this law is known as Newton's law of gravitation. So Newton's first law, second, third, and Newton's law of gravitation. So remember these laws. Okay, so we'll next move on to the another important term. Now here onwards we're going to come across with this term frequently. So before that, first we're going to see what is this SI unit. So already you are familiar with in our PUC level. Okay, so now let us see. There are three systems in previously we were using, that is MKS, CGS and FES. So the basic fundamental units are, that is length, mass and time. Okay, LMS, length, mass and time are the fundamental units in mechanics. Okay, the unit of all other quantities, whatever the other quantities units are there, they will going to be expressed in these terms only, in these three terms only. So the three commonly used systems are, that is for length it is meter, okay, for kilogram, that is mass, it is kilogram, and for time it is second. So MKS means meter, kilogram, second. So meter is unit for length, kilogram is unit for mass, and second is unit for time. So MKS. Similarly CGS, centimeter, gram and second. Then FES, it is foot, pound and second. So these were the three basic systems of units we were using previously. But now we are switching towards the SI units. What is this SI stands for? Presently the whole world is in the process of switching over to SI system of units. That is, SI stands for System Internationally D Units. Okay, SI is nothing but System Internationally D Units, or it is also called as International System of Units. Simple, you have to remember SI means International I stands for International System of Units. So in SI system also the fundamental units are, that is length, okay, then mass and time. So meter for length, kilogram for mass and second for time. So remember SI unit is nothing but International System of Units. Now whole world is using the SI system only. okay, including our country. Now, the next important term for this subject is nothing but a force. Okay, so how we are going to define a force, right? So, the like this, it is defined as the external agency, means it is externally applied to the body. So that is called as external agency. So force is nothing but it is the external agency which changes or tends to change the state of rest or uniform linear motion of the body. So what happens when you apply a force to the object? Now suppose, as we had discussed, the body is in rest condition. You take any body which is in rest condition. Okay, so apply the force. So when you apply the force, what happens? The state of the object will going to change. Okay, either it will going to move or it will going to slide, whatever it may be. Okay, so before applying it was rest condition, but when you apply the force, automatically the state of rest will going to change. Or suppose if the body is already in motion condition, right, what happens if you apply the force? The body will going to change its direction. Moment of direction will going to change. Okay, so in general you can say that force is nothing but an externally applied agency which will going to change the state of the rest or linear motion of the object. So that is called as a force. Now force has got units, force has got magnitude, right? So what is the unit of force? Okay, so in SI system, so now we are considering SI system only. In SI system, unit of force is defined as that force which causes 1 kg of mass to move with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Okay, then is termed as 1 Newton. See, remember what is the unit of force? From this you can get. So there is a 1 kg of mass. Okay, so the mass of the object is 1 kg. So if you want to move this 1 kg of mass with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square, how much force is required? 1 Newton. Means if you applied 1 Newton force to 1 kg of mass, then that object will going to move with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. So 1 Newton, okay, in SI system the unit of force is a Newton. So 1 Newton or Newton is nothing but unit of force in SI system. Okay, then another important thing, remember I have written here is this important elements of a force. Okay, the term is elements of a force, or it is also called as characteristics of a force. Both are correct. So either you can say what are the elements of force or what are the characteristics of a force. Now what do you mean by elements? Now it may be noted that a force is completely defined only when the following 4 characteristics are specified. Now if you want to say, if you again consider any body, right, which is subjected to force, if you want to clearly explain what is the force, where it is applied, right, and what is the magnitude, what is the direction, unless and until you specify all these things, there will not be any clear picture of force. Okay, so to define force completely, there will be 4 characteristics or 4 elements of a force are required. Then what are these 4 elements or 4 characteristics? See, first one, magnitude of the force. Okay, you have to mention what is the magnitude of force. Second, you have to mention point of application, where the force is applied. At what point force is applied, that is called as point of application. Third is you have to mention line of action. Okay, line of action, we're going to see this line of action. Then fourth, you have to mention direction. Okay, in which direction the force is applied. So these 4 are called as elements of a force or characteristics of a force. Okay, so then take this simple example. Again, AB, what you are seeing, this AB is a ladder. Okay, AB is a ladder. Normally we call in Kannada Nechaniki, right? So AB is kept against this wall and this floor. Okay. Now I will going to mark a point C. What is this mark point C? Okay. So point C is nothing but it is a point where a person standing, a person of weight 600 Newton. Okay. The weight of a person is 600 Newton and the person is standing at point C, which is at 3 meter along the ladder, not horizontal. Okay. Point C is 3 meter along the ladder. Okay. Now see here important is force is 600 Newton. Means the weight of the person is 600 Newton. Now I want to mention the force. Okay. Then these four characteristics are required. I have to mention these four characteristics. Then only there will be a clear picture of this force. Okay. Now in figure AB is a ladder. Okay. Kept against this wall and this floor. At point C. Okay. At point C, a person weighing 600 Newton. Okay. The weight of person standing here is 600 Newton. This is nothing but a force now. The force applied by the person on the ladder has following characteristics. In terms of these, we are going to mention. Magnitude. What is the value of force now? How much force is applied? Right? Force is nothing but the weight of the person. So, magnitude of force is 600 Newton. This is magnitude. 600 Newton will be the magnitude. Then point of application. Where this force is applied? This force is applied at point C. Okay, at point C, which is 3 meter along the ladder. Okay, which is 3 meter from point A along the ladder. This is point of application. Third, line of action. Okay, third one will be line of action. Now see, line of action. For line of action, you have to see the arrow mark. Whether this is a vertical or horizontal, this is vertical. Okay, so the force is applied vertical. So line of action will be vertical. It is not horizontal. Okay, if it is horizontal, then you have to write line of action is horizontal. But here it is vertical. Then what is the direction? Whether it is upward or downward, whether the force is acting upward or downward. Now see, it is downward. See the arrow mark, it is downward. So the direction is downward. So these are the four elements of force or four characteristics of a force. So when you want to define a force completely, you have to mention these four. Now see, with this only I can say that without the diagram also, you can imagine where the force is applied. Means I can say that, okay, there is a ladder. Okay, without this figure I can say that there is a ladder. Okay, a force of 600 Newton. A force of 600 Newton acting at point C, which is at a distance 3 meter from A along the ladder, and the line of action of force is vertical and the direction is downward. Now see, without sketch also I can with these four elements or with these four characteristics I can draw the picture or a figure. So these are the basic elements of force or basic characteristics of a force, that is magnitude, point of application, line of action and direction. So remember, so whenever you want to define a force completely, these elements are required. So remember, this is an important question they may ask in the examination, that is explain what are the characteristics of a force or define elements of a force. Okay, so with this today we are going to completed that Newton's laws of motion, that is first, second, third and Newton's gravitation law. Then what do you mean by a force, then unit of force, then characteristics or elements of a force. Okay, so with this we're going to stop today's session. Okay, I hope you understood this. If any doubts are there, okay, I'll going to clarify your doubts. Okay, and yesterday also some of you asked whether we have to prepare the notes by seeing these videos or whether you're going to give the notes. Okay, anyhow, after completion of every module, okay, so I'll going to give the notes. But meanwhile, try to prepare your own points. Notes means points wise. Okay, so it is easy for you to people remember as well as to write it in the examination. Anyhow, after completion of every module or every chapter, what you can say that I'll going to give the notes. But okay, every day you go through these videos and try to prepare point wise notes. That will going to help you remember easily and write it in the examination. Okay, so thank you very much for attending this session, and I hope you understood this. If any doubts are there, so please call me or call Tejaswini madam also. Okay, so right. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.